Hi Girl Scouts, I'm Crystal Pollack, Girl Experience Manager for Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast, and today we're going to look at the Junior Gardener Badge, Step 4, Experimenting with Seeds. I estimate this activity will take you approximately 20 minutes or so. So today's activities materials can be quite flexible, so things that you will need. You will need a bowl of soil. You'll need a tablespoon, a container for planting. I'm using an egg carton today. Pair of scissors, a piece of cardboard or construction paper would be fine. Paper and pencil to create yourself a little seed journal. We're planting some seeds, so you need some seeds. And some water. All right, some other ideas. If you don't have these materials, that's okay. Some other ideas, if you don't have an egg carton, you could use something like Dixie cups, even washed out yogurt containers. Anything that's solid that you can write on will work perfectly for this activity. You just need to make sure that you have 12 of them. If you don't have store-bought seeds, not a problem. You can do what I did and just go to your refrigerator and find something. I had a squishy tomato and it was too ripe for eating, but I didn't want to throw it away, so I decided to plant it instead. You could find a cucumber, zucchini, tomatoes, peppers, lots of different things. Just choose something that you enjoy eating. All right, so let's get started. Creating a bouquet of fresh flowers or making a dish with garden fresh herbs or vegetables, growing a little green cheer inside your house, all things that gardeners get to do. So today we're going to get our hands dirty and plant some seeds, and then over the next few weeks we're going to make some observations to see how water and sunlight and soil affect plant growth, and we're going to see what it takes to make a tiny little seed grow into a big, beautiful plant. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. You are the scientist here, and you get to control everything in your experiment. You get to decide how much soil, how much sunlight, how much water, and I just need you to make sure that you record your variables, in this case measurements, with great detail in your journal or write on the container. I am using my egg carton. I love using the egg carton here because I can write on it all of my variables. I've got, in this section, the experimenting with soil. I'm going to use a half a tablespoon versus 1 tablespoon. In the middle section here, I'm going to experiment with the amount of water that I'm using. I'm going to water this row daily, and then this one every 3 days, and see which one is better. And then the last section over here, I am going to experiment with the amount of sun that I give my plants. So following my directions that I've set for myself, I am going to begin filling my egg carton up. So I said I was going to use a half a tablespoon in that first row and a full tablespoon in the second row. Again, you are in charge. You get to decide these numbers for yourself. Just make sure that you record everything accurately. So now I'm dropping in 1 seed into each of the holes, and I'm going to fill it up, cover the seed up with the same amount of soil. So in the half a tablespoon roll, I'm going to do a half a tablespoon on top. This row, I'm using a full tablespoon to cover. All right, so now the middle section, like I had mentioned, is going to use 1 tablespoon of soil for all 4 of the holes. But this one is experimenting with the amount of water we're using. Going to drop in a seed. And cover this up. 1 tablespoon of soil on top. All right, and this one's dealing with water. We'll get back to the water part when we're all done planting. So moving on to the last section, we are putting in 1 tablespoon of soil, but we're experimenting with the amount of sun on this one. All right, seed. There we go. Covering it up. All right. Looks good. So I had talked about the cardboard or the construction paper before. I cut up a macaroni and cheese box and I cut out a little notch here that will fit right around the bump in the egg carton. And I'm going to block out as much sun as I possibly can by covering it up with the cardboard. All right. But we need to make sure that we are watering our plants here to get started. I'm going to use a squirt bottle for my measurement. I'm going to do 2 squirts of water every single day for the ones that require daily watering. And you might want to use a tablespoon, whatever you have available. Okay, so this row, remember, was watering every 3 days. So I'm going to mark in my journal that I watered all of my plants today. I'm going to write down the date. But now I'm going to water everything every day except for this row. And this one's going to get every 3 days. And now that I've watered, I'm going to cover this one back up because this is my row that's not going to get any sunlight. Okay, so that's it for planting. Now we need to go ahead and find a nice, safe, sunny windowsill that we can put this in and let it sit for a few weeks. We need to check on it daily though. Okay, so put that off to the side. Now you're going to take your seed journal here that you've created for yourself and you're going to write down any notes from today that we need to record, the date and such. Be sure to water your seeds daily for all the ones that require daily watering. You get to determine that measurement. Remember I said you might want to use a tablespoon or a number of squirts from the squirt bottle. Be sure to record your observations. How long does it take for the first leaves to poke through the soil? Does each section look the same? How so? Or maybe why not? Which plants did the best? How much water, how much soil, how much sunlight is just right to make your plants grow? That's it. You just completed step 4 of the Junior Gardener Badge. If you enjoyed this activity, what other variables could you add into the experiment? Different kinds of light, maybe red light or blue light. Maybe you want to add compost to the soil. If you like this activity, you can check out the other steps in the Gardener Badge. They are to visit a garden, explore garden design, learn how to choose garden plants, and grow your own garden. Now, I wanted to show you tomato plant that I planted. Remember I talked about that squishy tomato I found in my refrigerator? I planted this about 6 or 7 weeks ago now, and it's doing quite well. I'm very excited to transplant that into my garden in a couple more weeks when the weather warms up. If you like this activity, you can also go to girlscouts.org and check out the Girl Scouts at Home webpage for more Girl Scout fun. And if you are not a Girl Scout and want to join in, head on over to gsys.org or girlscouts.org to learn more. Happy growing!